I see this in many facets of our world today, in our life, where I feel like people lack accountability. And one thing you have to know about me is that's super important to me. I always look in here, inward, before I start to point fingers. Because no matter what the situation is, even if you are quote unquote the victim, you would be surprised that a percentage of that blame pie still goes to you. Even if it's just 10%, you gotta be able to do that. And the reason why I'm even saying this before I get into hop into the video topic is because I completely disrespected Yasratcha when we had first seen him. I basically had written him off as a bad matchup for the K9 people, or Yama himself. And basically, I believed that Yama was stronger. We hadn't seen complete K9 transformation. And I started to doubt myself the moment I learned about beastification. And considering what just happened in these last two chapters, I gotta own up to this because Yasratcha is a fucking monster. Y'all talking time just tick away. You ain't clocking hours on the day. All that watch is stopping what you claim. Dollar crosses real got me name. Hoping God just get me out this game. If you are new here, please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell down so the Ghost of the 13-month series does not get you. But yes, I want to speak about Yasratcha, and I just wanted to own up to the fact that originally when he had appeared and was doing stuff, I wasn't particularly high on him. I had downplayed him. I'd kind of been like, Yama's got this, and I just wanted to be straight up about that. So, anyways, let us talk about the greatness of the beast tamer, if you will, Yasratcha. I just kind of want to talk about the fact that he's completely making Yama look kind of silly so far in this current interaction. What happened is during the cage, not the cage, I'm sorry, the cat tower game, Yasratcha actually put himself in one of the cage and doesn't actually have his cat with him at the moment, which means he is currently going toe to toe and actually beating Yama in a straight up physical brawl, a fight. Beastification versus Houndborn or K9 people or Houndborn transformation. He's straight up just one-upping him in everything. The ability to actually transform outside of your body, control it, getting into his full form, all the varying levels of body transformation. Like Yama had pulled out certain things we haven't even seen him do yet. And he's fighting hard, and he's very motivated. And Yasratcha is just making him look silly. And remember, he hasn't even used days at all yet to make him beat himself up or any sense of the word. And Yama came here pretty much at 100%. So the rhetoric that I used before, where it was like because Yasratcha had already fought in with Vankel, or alongside of Vankel versus Calhelm, and how much work and time and pain it takes to go through the process of fully transforming, he was tired. Plus, he already got hit a couple times and everything. And then when they had that little clash where Yasratcha had blitzed him, I'm like, yeah, Yama's not even at 100% mana or HP, so I'm not too shocked by that exchange. So I kind of wrote it off as, if Yama was for full power and he couldn't use days, Yasratcha would be defeated by Yama. I always thought that it was going to take Doom and Yama because I thought basically what would happen was something similar to what we saw with the Windbird and the Lopobia family head, where one person fights the creature, one person fights the person, or if you will, the same thing with Calhelm. So while Calhelm's bison, yip yip, bull, whatever you want to call it, with the vines, was dealing with the Vankel, who was dealing with Calhelm? It was Yama. So I thought that split up would be what helped them. And plus, I believe that Doom's ability to control K9 people would somewhat offset Days. It's almost like I felt like they would have a puppeteering match. Like anytime maybe Yama was going to block something and Yasratcha had to open his guard to like let the attack hit him, maybe Doom could control Yama to actually block it. Something along those lines, because I think that would be really interesting and creative, but I don't think that's going to happen. But at the end of the day, I just want to own up that I was just pretty much straight up wrong. This dude is powerful. very impressed with the showing that I've seen so far, because I know that Yasratcha hasn't really shown me anything. And I think the most important thing you have to note here, because it's very vital to Yama's character, and the fact that he has a Shinsu passive that deals with this emotion, if you will. But it looks like Yasratcha in some ways is taming the wild beast that is Baylord Yama, and doing it by making him feel fear, making him afraid, making him scared. Now, I don't know if I believe that Yama has fully been subjugated, but I do think he had that moment where, like, he's being completely outmatched to the point he doesn't understand when he feels like the power in his fist aren't as strong and blah blah blah. And after Yasratcha is like, that's fear. An emotion that you have instilled into so many people, so many creatures throughout your life, including your brother, who was a slayer in top 200 and a canine person too. This is like your first taste of it. And that's so interesting and so important, because it's like, fuck, he right. Again, Yama stood his ground, and maybe he's posturizing. Maybe there was a moment of fear. Maybe there was a moment he didn't understand what the emotion was, and he's kind of beating it. But that's just a crazy thing to think of. The master of fear, the master manipulator of fear, the person who uses it a lot to the point where his Shinsu passive is to make sure that, hey, well, make sure if I'm afraid of you in any capacity, your Shinsu doesn't work against me. You can't hurt me no more. Like, that's crazy to think that somebody made, what would be, what's crazy about it? Sorry, I know I'm stumbling over my words a little bit. What's crazy about it is, would that mess with the passive at all? Like, I almost feel like it should be a double-edged sword. Like, if he gets scared, he should take like twice the damage. You know what I'm saying? Like, all or nothing. So, anyways, Yasratcha is very strong. He's a monster, a beast tamer. We have seen that to some degree throughout some of the flashbacks and everything. But yeah, I have to give him his credit. I'm going to probably do a more in-depth video on Yasratcha in the future after this arc concludes, and we learn maybe a bit more about Yasratcha and his relations to the Lobobia family. Because one thing that Yasratcha had commented on a couple of times here is that Yama was doing things just like his father. So that's going to be significant. But also, gotta add that Yasratcha didn't like, quote unquote, try to tame and subjugate Yama through just physical dominance, psychological dominance, using his family history against him and his dad and blah 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 and this and that and the third. So anyways, before I ramble on too long, just wanted to say that this dude is absolutely a beast. We haven't even seen what he could do in tandem with that big ugly cat that he has. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good, but I do believe that the combined trio of the Baylord brothers will ultimately be enough to... I don't think Yasratcha is going to see the end of this arc. I think he's dying here. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. And have yourselves a mighty fine day.
In my drugs, pour it in my cup, sitting in my darkness with my ghouls, we pouring up. I don't really give a fuck, I don't really ever say. You tell me that I suck until you get up out my face. You got tears in your eyes, looking like a fool.